You're listening to Midwest Coven Cast.
I'm Susie.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Marilyn. We are three modern pagans making our way through this world.
We hope you will join us every 2 weeks
For conversations about,
Well,
just about everything. We hope you enjoy this episode.
We are back in business.
Hey, we're back. We're back.
Oh, we're actually recording.
Oh, yeah,
We've been
recording.
recording. Why do you think we're filling the air with chatter?
I didn't know that's what we were doing. I was just like, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Susie. No, it's okay.
Oh, Susie.
I didn't exactly announce it, and she's right across from me and probably saw me, literally turning it on, so.
So Sam's going to light our ritual candle.
I actually was going to ask who wants to light it, because I've lit it a couple of times this season already.
I can do it.
I've lit it once
haven't
already,
at all yet,
so.
I don't think. So I'm going for it. It's happening. Well, it's getting down there. It's like 2/3 done, I'd say.
Yeah, I actually reached the lighter into it to light it now.
Yeah.
Oh, you have one of those longer ones somewhere, too. I don't.
Oh, yeah, I do. I do have one of the longer ones.
Oh, good. She's lit.
Yes.
I've lit the
Let
candle.
the episode commence.
Oh, I stole your lighter. This is mine now.
Well, you have one just like it, so.
I do. Yours is slightly lighter purple than mine, but yeah.
I did get her. So yeah,
That's all right.
I didn't realize that you had. Why did I not know that yours was purple?
If I'm paying attention, it's all good. I just wasn't really paying attention.
Well, no, because I remember when I got the other one for you. It's purple, right?
The one you got me is purple, but it's darker purple than that. So it is different.
Okay. I was like, because I swore I was trying to not get the same, because it had with the cell phone case. I got my cell phone case, and it
looks
was
like
almost
Sam's
just like Sam's. I'm like, shit, I thought I was getting the different colored one, because there was an option between purple and turquoise, and I thought, in my brain, I remembered yours being purple.
Well, and the one that Kelly plays with over there is just like it, too.
And that's why I didn't want to get that color, too.
Yeah.
No, that's why I thought that it was that color, but yes, anyways. It is what it is. I always choose
all
one
right,
color.
Coven.
Yeah, let's get ready. So maybe now we can start the episode. Now that we all know that we're
Have we got all of our
back
tangents out?
of
No, probably not.
They're just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
So the ritual candle has been lit by Marilyn.
It has been. And so what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so now we can welcome you guys for joining us and talk about our topic. Yay!
So I think since Sam, it was your suggestion for this episode.
You want me to
correct?
introduce the topic to these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our topic today is Yoni eggs, which are, I kind of honestly like Susie's answer about what she thinks they are the best. I think
Okay.
because that's probably what most people think.
Okay, yes, I'll be the honest one again because of the same reason I was in the first season with paganism in general. I was very uninformed about what a Yoni egg was. So when I first heard about what a Yoni egg was, I was like, honestly just thought it was shoving an egg-shaped crystal into your hoo-ha for pleasure. I mean,
so if you know what a Yoni is, which I looked it up on where I bought my crystal, which is from Yoni Pleasure Palace. Their website says the Yoni egg is an egg-shaped crystal that you wear inside your vagina. So you shove inside your hoo-ha to keep it strong, healthy, and toned. The word Yoni translates to sacred temple in Indian Sanskrit, and we honor and respect and appreciate the ancient tradition of the transformation it offers to folks with vaginas.
So now, I did not think that it was to keep it strong, healthy, and toned. That part of it, I didn't really understand at all. I was just sitting here thinking that there were,
sex toy.
Well, kind of that, but the other part of me that, when I first heard about it, years and years ago, I was sitting here thinking about, a girl just, putting it up there and just sitting like a goose. And then when she's ready, just popping it out.
Laying her egg.
So, okay, there is, literally a kink from this. I, found this out from, one of those... It was, one of those videos where they line people up and then you talk to... They have, one central person that, talks to everyone.
Uh-huh.
And they have to, decide what their, ethnicity is or what their background is or what career they have or whatever based on the questions that they ask them, right? Well, one of them was about, kinks. And one of them... her kink was to put, like, eggs inside of her and lay them. Which, like, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. But, like, this is kind of, like, my association with this now. Like, not to say that that's what I thought about yoni eggs. Like,
But there's,
just
like, someone
when
that
you
puts
thought-
multiple ones in there and, like,
and
lays
just,
them.
like,
Lays
walks
them
down
out,
the hall,
like,
like, or, like,
Walks down the
laying them
hall.
out. I don't know. I don't mean
Well,
that, like,
so
meanly.
I
I
will
just, like,
say-
I don't
Does
know
she lay
exactly
them
what
out
the...
to her lover, or does she
Maybe.
I
just lay
think
them
I don't
that
know.
they use more like jelly type texture eggs
That
for
could
that
be.
though,
I don't
because
know.
I've
I have
actually
literally
seen
no idea.
those. I've actually seen the like
There's a sex toy.
dildo that
Like, the
inserts
things
the
that they would
eggs-
buy
that
for the
inserts
purpose
eggs
of
up
that.
into there. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
See, there's
So-
these things that exist in the world that I have
Yeah.
no idea about. And
Like,
then
well,
we
Which
have
you can
episodes like
warm or
this.
cool the eggs. So I mean, I would be curious and try that.
Just like, I don't know what that kind of a sensation would feel like.
Jelly eggs
Could be
that you can
interesting, I
warm.
I
Okay.
You do you know?
oh,
But
man.
yeah, so
Go for the goals.
There is more than just the pleasure. Some of like
Yeah.
the benefits that they say can come from it are the strengthening of your pelvic floors, improve your bladder weakness, enhance lubrication in your vagina, reduce numbness inside your vagina, boost your orgasms and your arousal potential, and then gentle healing associated with the crystal properties. So kind of like the metaphysical properties of whatever type of crystal you're using.
Yeah.
And then assist with postpartum rehabilitation and recovery because it's a strengthening and toning thing. It's going to help you.
I think
after
most
that.
of my understanding of yoni, like, comes back to the, like, the sexual healing / association with the crystal properties. Because, like, there's... always been sort of like buzz around like the metaphysical part of it. And I think that's probably what I was most familiar with. Just because I think most of my, like when you first brought up yoni eggs, it kind of sounded familiar, but I couldn't like place it. And then when we looked it up, I was like, oh yeah, because it was like a big thing with like Gwyneth Paltrow. It was one of the things that they like advertised on Goop, and like, so I was just kind of like,
I still
the
have not
jade
watched
eggs.
that, but I
Yes.
heard it's really good. I have wanted to check that out.
well, I'm not really into Goop really. I mean, personally, I think
But
it's,
you've seen it.
well, I've seen some things on Goop, you know what I mean? But like,
Is that her show? Like, it's a Netflix.
well, I think it's like a
thing,
blog more or less, and she like advertised like certain like things that she does or like
so
products
is it,
she uses.
Is it Netflix
or...
then or no?
No, it is not Netflix. It's like
Oh,
Gwyneth
see, I was
Paltrow's
sitting here-
I
personal
think
like
there
website.
is a special on Netflix about
Oh,
it.
there
though,
might
yeah.
be.
Okay.
There might be, but Goop itself is more of
A blog in its own.
like Gwyneth Paltrow's brand, kind of. I guess you'd
Okay.
say it's kind of like a lifestyle blog, I guess you'd say.
Well, you should look up the Netflix series then, because I think I think she is in it too. Me and Trevor watched it, but I don't know faces.
Yeah,
I don't
there
know
might
who
be a-
people are.
I remember
Netflix
Kylie Lewis
documentary
mentioning
now.
it on her podcast on an episode, and yeah, they were talking about some different. I think she was more or less talking about the female cycles or something. I kind of don't remember, to be quite honest with you, but I just remember her mentioning it that it was on Netflix. That's why I associated the two, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not on Netflix, so I must be thinking of something else.
Yeah. I just like, I mean, my association with Goop, though, it's like anytime it comes up in pop culture instances, and like, to be honest, like, it's so like fleetingly stupid sometimes that I don't really even remember like specific like iterations of this like off the top of my head. But like, anytime Goop usually comes up in pop culture, it feels like it's usually associated with something like weird, or like the claims around it are sometimes a little questionable, I guess is a good way of saying it. Like, you know what I mean? Not to say that like anything she did, like I would never like look at it or whatever. I looked at some of the stuff there, but
it's just one of those things that
it's one of those
you take with a
associations
grain
I
of
had with
salt
it after.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely.
Well, and I mean, not to say that, so, like, that's one of the things that I freaking love crystals, not going to get,
Yeah.
but I do want to try to get more in touch with, like, what their metaphysical properties are and how to utilize them, because that's something that, I have so many of them at my house,
Yeah.
I need to start actually, like, figuring out what they are and how to utilize
Use
them
them
to
with
their best
intent.
potential.
Mhm.
Yes, use
Yeah.
them with intent, exactly.
I tend to use them more associatively, so like, yeah, or symbolically than that. But I mean, that's not necessarily true of everyone, though. And I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum, you know.
Well, no, like, for some reason, like, the thing that resonates with me with crystals the most, too, besides just how, like, pretty they are, is, like, I tend to, I believe in, like, the whole, like, resonation of like vibrations and colors and frequencies and all of that. And I just feel like crystals each vibrate at their own frequency. So when you get into, similar to the Tesla plate, the purple plate, I feel like, like when it has their own resonation, like if you can tone in and like if you can tune into that and actually like reap the benefits of that frequency within yourself, then you can actually, and again, it's kind of probably a little bit of placebo effect too, to a degree, because if you believe it.
That's what I always wonder sometimes.
That's kind of how I've picked all my crystals, though. I don't usually go to a crystal shop being like, oh, well, I need this crystal for healing, and I need this one for my heart chakra, and I need, I go into the crystal shop and I let the crystals tell me which ones to take home with me, and then I go and see what ones they do, and they're usually areas of my life that need work, or that, that I'm struggling with, and like, the crystals know. Like, they know that when they need to come home with you.
They're magnetically to you in the world. Well, and that's just something that's interesting to me to think about is, like, they talk about The Secret and, like, the power of your mind and drawing to you the things that you need and, how, I don't know, I do somewhat feel as though, although, like, the plan might be chaotic, there might be some sort of, like, a plan in place that we aren't, like, fully aware of, and, like, things just fall into place the way they fall into place when we think it's just kind of coincidental, but like, maybe there are different magnetic / electric / whatever pulls that draw things together and apart and so on that, really overall affect everything. We can't see it on the other levels. So, I don't know.
Could be.
It'd be kind of cool to think about if there was something wrong with a person, that the thing that they need could come into their life and be literally or magnetically or electrically drawn to them and help heal whatever needed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, it's just a thought. I don't know why I went there, but I did.
That's all right.
But back to Yoni eggs.
So
well,
you guys...
it's quasi on topic, because we're talking about crystals.
Yeah. So,
I just don't want to keep saying,
So,
So Sam has something to say. Sorry.
Almost like
well, we're kind of like on the topic. Like, you guys obviously haven't had Yoni egg experiences before that. Like, we talked about filming this episode. I, on the other hand, I've had several. I've collected over the years, and I use them every now and then. Like, usually just for like seeing how long I can hold it up there. Like, I'll pop it in and go about my day, and then like when it comes out is when I'm done using it. And just kind of like the same thing. Like, I have like rose quartz ones and amethyst ones, basically ones for like self-healing and like love chakra, heart chakra, like love and because
do you have any red ones that are for like the sacral chakra?
I don't.
That might be interesting to get ones that are for that one specifically, since how sexuality tends to lie into the red chakra, right?
Yeah.
Just
so the one that I most recently bought is black, which is supposed to like cleanse, like draw negative energy, like so
absorb it.
Yeah. Like a lot of the Coven knows I have had multiple traumas, so getting comfortable in like spaces involving sexuality isn't always like something I want to do because it's super uncomfortable and like has a lot of triggers and things. Yeah. So that's what I was kind of like, when I brought up the episode, it wasn't more like let's shove it up my hoo-ha for pleasure. It's more like let's see if we can heal some of this trauma that's up in there.
I think your exact words were something
I can find some healing.
I think your exact words were something along the lines of, I want the trauma to be sucked out of my vagina, or something very, very similar
this
to
wand is gonna I'm gonna stick it up there, and it's gonna like pull the negative energy of all these bastards out of my vagina.
Placebo effect, okay? Suck it all out of me.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I have to say that my impression of Yoni eggs, though, has been it has been altered a little bit after we started talking about doing this episode, because there was a lot of stuff that I didn't realize about them. Like, I knew more the metaphysical side of it, and I'm kind of a skeptic, so I was kind of like, meh,
Yeah.
But I do feel like I wanted to still give it a fair shake, and like there were things that I didn't realize about like the the exercising of the muscles in there, and like the more physical side of it, and that I could definitely see in terms of some of the potential like benefits of it. So I think my idea has shifted. I don't know if I'm a fan yet, but we'll get more into that later. But
well, and see, I never even like owning a couple of them, I kind of more just thought, well, I'm using this one for self-love, and it's my love crystal, and put it in there and I feel some love today. And didn't really like, obviously I knew that it was good for toning, but like the things where it talks about like being more supple and like how stimulating those parts can make your suppleness come back, and like your wetness come back because it's being stimulated by something, and like I don't know, things that I just wasn't aware were benefits of it, even when I have had several of them already. So
yeah, honestly, the thing. So, when I was pregnant, I remember a girl at work who had like a few kids. She told me, she was like, "Girl, I was like, what advice do you have? Because sometimes I would ask people for their advice, and one of the things she said, she's like, do them Kegel exercises, girl." She was like, make sure you do them Kegels, because after a while you're gonna not regret it. So it was like, it was pretty funny that they were used for that, because I was like, oh, okay, I think maybe I could actually get into that, like, but yes.
Well, it's funny because like I've been using mine just, every once in a while, for a couple of years now. And I don't know. Yeah, I think Trevor could like praise the Kegel exercise. I don't want to like get too detailed, because I don't know. I'm not that.
That's okay.
I'm not that open of a person.
Honestly,
but he's made some claims before. So
yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things too that I was a little hesitant going into this episode, because I'm such a private person that these types of things I tend to not like to discuss, especially publicly. So like amongst you two, obviously it's a little bit more of my walls are down, but at the same time, like knowing that it's going to air, I'm like, I'm going to kind of restrict on some of the things that I'm going to be like saying, just because whatever, I'm just a private, modest, shy person that I just can't be open about certain things like that. But anyways,
it fluctuates. My level of comfortability fluctuates like all the time.
I mean, this is true too, I guess. Yeah.
I actually, since we were gonna record this episode tonight, I was obviously like, oh, let me take a look at my Yoni egg. So I popped one in earlier. I forgot it was there, and this is the first time ever that it fell out in the toilet, and I heard it clink, and I was like, oh my god, and I immediately stuck my whole hand in there, like didn't even think about it, just after I just peed in the toilet.
Help my vagina crystal out of there.
Yeah, I had to rescue it. But yeah, that was my funny story that I almost told you guys, because like it happened right before I like came here. I was like, I need to pee and then get ready to go, and like I was so ready.
Don't forget I'm in here.
Yeah, it just came out. And
oh man.
Well, what's funny to me is that, so the other thing that I didn't really know about going into it was, in my brain was picturing, because I've only seen crystal eggs like in their regular egg shape, like without the cord or the like hole at the end.
Yeah.
So I was in my own head kind of thinking like, once I put it in there, like, how do you get it out? Like, so, and I ordered mine and I seen it. I was like, oh, okay, that makes total sense. There's little strings.
Well, see, all of mine are undrilled. I don't have drilled eggs, which for me personally, I feel like having a stringed egg would get in the way, because, like, I don't know, it kind of like tumbles around in there sometimes, so like, it doesn't always just stay like one direction. It kind of, if it flips, it flips.
Well, to be honest with you, that was one of my reservations about the Yoni egg, because I was like,
how's it going to stay in place?
Well,
I'm
more like, how the fuck am I going to get it out once it's in there? Like, because I didn't realize you could get it drilled, like whatever. So I definitely got a drilled one.
I got the drilled ones too, just because I was thinking.
Because I have to tell you, as a plus size person, my reach is a little more limited than the skinny folk, and so I was like, "This could be bad, maybe." So
I don't want to get this thing lost up in here.
Like the last thing I want to do would be like, "You guys are coming over to get this out."
You guys have to help me.
I have a problem that I need your help.
Someone bring us food. We're fishing for eggs.
Pick up some KY, please.
Well,
Oh,
I've
my
actually, back to like the girl that you were talking about, her fetish of like birthing the eggs.
Uh-huh.
I've had to birth eggs before because like they don't want to come out easily, so I've had to like squat down and like birth it out.
It's kind of stuck up in there.
Oh, man.
Need you out of here. I gotta go to bed.
Sometimes they're just really comfortable in there and they don't want to budge. They want to live up there.
Yeah.
I would be very scared about, yes, like, well, I mean, now I'm worried that if I have it on a string, what if it's on the string, it goes up in there, and then it, like, moves around,
Tumbles
twists around, and then, yep, there goes my chance of getting it out with the string while it's all up in there.
That you can still go in there.
I'm sure, obviously. It's not like it's going to go too far.
Oh,
but
my
still.
gosh.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so... I say I'm not comfortable talking about things, and then here I am talking about, like,
that's the
losing things up in
episode.
the vagina, like, whatever.
Well, it's like you thought you wouldn't have anything to say with the Stephen 9 episode, and you were like, you definitely have that to say.
Yeah.
I mean, you both know I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut, so I usually always have things to say, whether I can filter them or not.
Oh, man.
I think like my only really reservations with using the things was just like using the act of using the things in general, just knowing that like triggers were going to come up and that always being like something that comes into the bedroom, and I don't know. Now I'm going to get tearful.
No, you're fine.
But like it's like I don't like I shouldn't feel guilty, but it is almost like a pressure sort of thing, like they're my triggers and my traumas, and like he is mindful of them a lot of the times, but it's still like a struggle to like be on the same level because he always is going to want more than what I'm going to want. And so
you worry.
Yeah, just like letting him down or like not giving enough when he's a monogamous person, so like I am all he looks to like provide that, and
you fear he's going to get resentful or something maybe eventually.
Well, I don't fear he's going to be resentful. It's just like, I don't know, as a wife you feel like you wish you could like provide all those things. Like I feel like he loves me enough to that he's not going to resent me for it, but like I still feel like
still,
you know, like
to fulfill that need.
I wish I could do more for him.
Well, and you just know that you can't really.
Which is what I'm hoping to get out of this is just like. So there's like a practice that they go through called de-armoring, which is to actually like get rid of the trauma spots that are associated in those areas. And so the wand that I got is specifically like shaped for that, and you're supposed to just basically put it in there and put pressure on parts that are either numb or that feel tension, and just like hold it there and for like 3 minutes, basically. Like you don't move it really, you just put it in there and
allow it to kind of
like break through those tensions or those, you know, those tight spots or those spots that you aren't feeling anything to like.
Similar to a massage.
Yeah.
Like when you have a knot in your back and you need to literally just like
release something. Release the energy that's been stagnant there.
Right.
So that was like, you know, what I wanted to get out of using it. And so like me and my husband, we used it together, and which was like, we don't really use toys together because, you know, we're not that intimate together to begin with. But yeah, so it was that, you know, that whole shy thing when you're like, hee hee, so this is my wand, and here's the instructions if you want to learn how to read them, and which he read the instructions, and still he did the typical, I don't know, I feel like this is just the typical male, I have a wand. He wanted to just insert it and do the in and out, and I'm like, that's not what this is for. Like, did you read the directions that I gave you that say, just insert it, and so like I had to like, you know, re-guide him and show him a little bit, and then he did understand the assignment, and like it was nice because like it didn't bring up as many triggers as like actual sex would, because like he wasn't on top of me or inside of me, or like, you know, like
Sure.
there a lot of the things that trigger me because of my past didn't come up. So
Right.
it was
more
easier
pleasurable,
to like enjoy the pleasure like without all of those like other things in my mind. So yes,
Sure.
I'm looking forward to using it again and like getting him to
More used to.
understand the technique better.
Well, because I'm sure
Yeah.
that it's like anything. It's probably a little bit different to get used to using it on another person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so. But that's good that at least you guys are to that point where you're comfortable to there. You know what I mean? Like, me personally, I'm terrible. I was so uncomfortable that I still didn't even do it. Like, I literally got so in my head that I was just like, man,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm judging myself so much. Like, I don't know why I judge myself so much. Because I'm like the only one there. Literally, I could have just did it. But instead, I was just like, oh God, no, what will people think? What will people think? Da 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 da. When, you know.
You need to stop
like,
caring about what people think.
I really
mean,
do.
I
Yeah, we
also
say
need to
this,
do
like-
it, but I know it's hard.
I feel like you're the
It's so
youngest
hard.
one, so like you're the
the one that needs to hear it the most.
we all do this, but we've aged out of it a little bit. Like
Little
not
bit,
like
yeah.
we've put it down. I don't
You
know.
still, I
for-
think,
you're still carrying it a
internalize other
lot.
people's opinions a lot more than we do. Not to
I
say that I
do.
don't at all.
I'm
Trust
think-
me,
I'm
but
hoping
You know, it's
Another
like
couple
this. I can't
years
even bring myself
that-
over the
yeah,
hover
it-
of like just doing something for
just
myself.
to try it, yeah.
You know,
Well,
like,
and I think it came from like your initial mindset too, was like, oh well, these are like pleasure items, and so you're associating it with being just a pleasure item and not like a self-toning tool
Well,
and a. You know,
I think
Yeah.
also I
Or
related
whatever
it
the case may
to
be.
like specifically sex, and I think that like growing up, I obviously was, you know, very like, I don't know what the word would be, but just modest, I guess, about the discussion of sex. It was never like a big, you know, you keep all that stuff hush hush, you don't talk about it and stuff. Like, I don't know, that's just kind of how I was with it. I don't know if necessarily it was embedded in me to be that way.
I think
I
so.
remember
think
you told
culturally
me about your
it's sort of
first
true.
time because we signed a blood contract saying that we had to.
Yes, I remember.
But like, I
that
don't think
too.
you would have told me if we didn't have that contract.
I don't think I would have either because it was not. It's not one that I like to brag about. So no. Yeah. Oh man. Back. Yeah. It brought me back, Sam.
Blood pack.
Well, so
Oh my
I
gosh.
want to elaborate about this blood pack because I think it might have come up in a different season.
Yeah.
I feel like
But-
maybe it has, yeah.
it totally did.
Like
I
the
had
main
to.
points of the pact were that we were going to move to California. We were going to take our children to Disney World every
Every
year,
year.
at least once a year.
But
because
we were also going to live in a storage unit.
Yeah.
Specifically, because we were
Yes,
going to have
specifically.
such cheap rent.
we were going to save rent money by living in a storage unit, showering at the gym.
Children.
I mean, I don't know if children were necessarily in our plan, but yeah, eventually
There definitely were no husbands.
We were going to take the children to.
We didn't think that far ahead.
We don't need like full-time jobs because like rent at the storage unit
It's
is
so
only
cheap,
like $79 a month.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Why wouldn't you just do that?
Oh
We
my
got our
gosh.
free
But then-
showers at our gym with our gym membership, and we also get like free water bottles there, so we're good on that. Like, we had a plan.
But the very end was that we would tell each other about our very first time. And so, yep.
yeah, you told me.
I sure did. But yes, we did not end up fulfilling the rest of our blood contract yet. But, you know, there's still some time.
We should
Yeah.
take a trip to Disney with the kids when the
That-
kids are a little older.
Yes, and they can remember
Yeah.
it. When they're not going to be traumatized
I
by
know.
cigarettes burning their fingers. Then
Yeah,
that's the only
crying
thing
the
they
whole way
remember.
through. It's a small world.
Exactly. We
You
don't want to
know.
have Maryland's experience for them for...
And going to
Disney
Universal
World.
and being real mad that you couldn't ride the bee.
Where is Hogwarts? That's also somewhere...
Universal.
Universal.
That's the one that we should go to because then we can go to both maybe.
Yeah.
I want to go to Hogwarts.
Well, I got a friend. She is a Disney planner, so
Oh shit.
she could plan our trip and save us rooms and get us discounts and tell us where to meet all of the people and where to dine at.
Princesses.
She knows all of the things. She spends a lot of time there.
I really want to go and yell, "Andy's coming!" and let all the people drop to the ground. Have you seen that?
In Toy Story Land?
Yes.
I've heard of it.
That was fun. But anyways,
Employees
You
probably
get a
hate
lot-
that.
they probably do. They probably hate it so. They're probably like, "Who wants to be
God, I got so many bumps on my legs today from just crashing to the ground.
God, you would exercise today. There's probably kids that mess with them that just keep doing it over and over and over. Make
Oh
it
my
safe.
gosh.
They'll do it. Oh, man. But anyways. But yeah, so I had some reservations, but overall, I feel like in the future, I do want to do it because I can see the benefit of doing it for the pelvic floor purposes, especially. The only thing is I don't think I would so, the other question that I have is it to be worn around then? Like, you're supposed to almost put it in and just wear it around?
I think it depends.
You can do it different ways. You can do it more mindfully where you're like, where you just go in your bed and you put it there and then you, like, consciously, like, move it up and down and, you know, like, try and flip it in there, like, intently, or just be mindful that it's there and don't move it, you know?
Whatever,
hold it in place, or, like, I use it a lot, just pop it in, go about my day, and,
Do you feel it in there, like, moving around, or is it just kind of like a tampon? Where
if it goes too low, I can definitely feel it, or if I'm trying to be mindful of, like, doing more
Kegel
like work it towards the top and then work it back down and then work it to the top and then work it back down.
Then you can feel
which
it,
is the trick that Trevor really likes when not with the egg but with
with him. Yeah.
So,
that's
being able to control not just all your Kegels but specifically like control each Kegel and then
similar to
release each Kegel. So like
that's where I want to, like, kind of get to the point of where it's, like, I can, feel it better. Because, like, I obviously can feel down there when I'm doing things. But at the same time, like, not like you were describing, like, an individual muscle. Like, you know.
Like, I think a lot of women can, like, tighten everything and release everything. But it's a lot more, like, I know Benoit balls. Yeah, those have been around for a really long time too, and that's like where there's two small. They're a little bit bigger than a small marble, and they're like little weights, and you put them up there and basically do the same thing. You can
twirl them
or separate them and then pull them back together and separate them and pull them back together. Okay. So like doing different exercises like that in there.
Definitely helps
tones
with that.
Different muscles and
Well, the other thing that it reminds me of is on that 50 Shades of Grey scene when he like pops up. What does he pop?
That's what those are. The Benoit balls. Or was it anal beads?
I think it was just one ball or something, wasn't it? And then he like had to control something or other that he.
It might have been just.
Maybe I'm thinking of the one that had like Never mind. I'm thinking of two.
I've only
movies.
Seen the movie once. So.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I just remember that there was some scene, I'm pretty sure, where, he had her shove something up in there, and they went to dinner, and then,
I think part of my reservation were some of the ways that people said to use them, because, like, some people, like, recommend you keep them in there for a while, and, like, I'm very weird about, like, putting things in my vagina in general, like, I don't even really use tampons anymore, like, I prefer just pads, and, like... I do have sex toys, but I don't use them all the time. Like,
I've tried to use a menstrual cup, and I did not like it. I think I need a different shaped one or something. I don't know. But
same. I tried one, and it just was not comfortable at all.
But I'm not a fan of tampons. I have my undies, my period undies, which I love.
But what are the brand of those again? Because I don't have anything like that. I just have regular ones, and I hate how...
I don't have any yet. I've thought about getting them, though.
The brand that I've been buying is Tomboy X. So,
that's
and
right,
I like their, like, regular undies. I have their regular undies.
She's like, I have one there.
But, like, they're the ones that have, like, they look like kids' underwear, like men's underwear, like, normal, I'm not trying to be sexy, I'm just wearing underwear.
I like those, though. Like, I have a few pair that are, like, the Marvel ones. Those are, like, my favorite ones.
They have full coverage. They're not see-through. Like,
they're
like it just being out of me. But then there's, like, the other part of it, too, that I'm, like, I worry about with... crystals especially, because like some of them are like some crystals are porous or like partially porous, and like that worries about me with like bacterial issues and things
so I would definitely be weary, like do your research into Etsy shops, because some of them might be selling egg-shaped crystals that aren't necessarily meant to be in your yoni, and they're just egg-shaped crystals to represent like fertility and other things of that nature. Because I saw some that were advertised as yoni eggs, and they were selenite, which is a salt-based crystal.
Oh, like you cannot have that.
You can't put that in your yoni. Do not. So, they have to be water submergible. They have to be non-toxic.
And you want them to be preferably non-porous because bacterial can get in there and go faster.
So definitely research what types of crystals your Yoni items
okay,
are.
so I'm going to ask the question.
Yeah.
So the ones that I bought, they're rose quartz.
Mm-hmm.
Rose quartz is definitely not porous, right? Yep. So they're okay.
I don't know, personally.
It might be semi-porous, but you should be able to just wash it with any type of, like, hand soap. Soap that you would use on your body, unscented.
Yeah, it said here at the
like
bottom.
warm water. Don't boil them. Some people suggest to boil them, but that can crack your crystals, so that's not good advice either.
Yep.
And
so just
I like that you have, so your 3 different sizes. The largest one is probably going to be the easiest because it's
more, you can feel it.
Yeah, there's more to it, whereas you'd have to be able to be super
tight,
strong and tight for the smaller egg. Yep.
I was actually kind of thinking in reverse at first, but that makes sense. Obviously, you'll feel that and can move that around. And then
it is going to be more weight, so, but it's going to be easier to hold. Like, I don't know, in my opinion anyways. Everyone might have a different preference, but...
Well, I got mine from Thrive Healing Center, is the Etsy shop I got mine from.
I like that the whole set.
It was kind of cute. And it has a bag for them in the inside. I think once I actually use it, then I can put them inside of the bag and keep them
nice.
Keep them nice and from getting.
I ended up getting just
dented up.
Yeah, I didn't get a set. I just got it like the single. It's like I might mispronounce this, but it's like nephrite jade egg, and I had it drilled, as I said before, for this string. I just got it's like the medium size one, I think it was. And it was kind of recommended for beginners, and it purports on the website to be non-porous, but I think it's actually semi-porous, technically.
Does it have anything to do with, like, when they polish it, is it less porous? The way they shine it?
I'd have to look it up, but I don't know for sure, but possibly, perhaps.
As long as you probably, wash it with that mild soap afterwards.
I just feel like in my readings on crystals and things like that in the past, I feel like it's considered semi-porous, but you might be right. Maybe it is something in the final processing.
I keep mine submerged in a bowl of white rice also when I'm done using it. So I wash it in my hand soap, and then I wash it with hot water with my mild soap, and I rinse it very well, and then I polish it, and then I make sure it's all the way dry, and then I submerge it in a bowl of white rice. I also just think that protects, it's going to protect it and keep it from all the negative energy going into it for when I put it back up there next time. It'll be nice and cleansed.
It keeps all that negative shit out of it.
From the, So...
So did you end up getting something new for this, Sam, or did you?
I got
because I know you had some
fancy
before.
Yeah, I got my cervix serpent. So it is a egg-shaped one, which came in a fancy silk and velvet box.
It's very long.
So it's got an egg-shaped bulb on one side that has I don't even know what I would call them, little tongue rivets. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has little
look like
ridges.
Yeah.
So it has ridges for your G-spot is what it says it's supposed to stimulate on that. And then this is the other end, which has got a twirly-whirly doodad.
It looks kind of like a worm, like an earthworm.
I don't know why, but it makes...
But that's for the de-armoring. That's where you put in the pressure points and hold.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We actually used this end for that because I was intimidated by how pointy this looked.
Yeah.
So we used this one and used it for the pressure and the G-spot stimulation when we used it. But yeah, it was... He tried to...
You know what, honestly, for some reason, when I see it, what I want to almost do is go...
I mean, that might be the next step. So it's shaped so that you can use it with yourself, and it has enough handle to maneuver that way. Mm-hmm. So it's got... I'll probably post a picture on our Patreon of it. So you guys can check it out there. But yeah, it's
something on my egg too. Fine.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of mine too. so people can see what's going in our vaginas. Sorry.
Yeah, Steve. Thanks for playing our picture.
Oh, I'm sure he's seen much worse, so it's all good. He's like, that's all you guys put in yours? I have tons of shit I put in mine. Not his vagina, just ass. Sorry. You're welcome, Steve.
We can crop that.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as like the experience itself goes, unfortunately, I'm totally lame, and I totally didn't do it yet, but like I said, I think it's going to be an ongoing thing that I can keep, like, work, because I've got this set. I'm not going to not use it. It's just a matter of me feeling more comfortable with everything, and
Definitely.
yes.
Well, I think this is going kind of more off my older understanding of it and all that, but, like, I guess one of the things that I would have hoped for, like, from the beginning was, like, the Jade said it was, like, good for emotional healing, or, like, whatever, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could probably use that, I guess. But I think, like, the other more physical stuff, though, too, and, like, looking more at things is maybe something to keep me continue using it, maybe. We'll see. I'm undecided, because, again, I still have the reservation about just shoving things in there. Like, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, and we're doing things like that, that's fine. But, like, in general, I just don't like things up there. So, like, it was, like, a weird... I mean, we're going to talk more about, like, the actual experience, but...
But I can see what you're saying, though, in a sense that, you know, it's just not your preference.
Just not my preference, personally.
Fine.
But that's...
Well, it's kind of the same, like, people will ask about...
But no hate to anyone else, of course.
Yeah, like, doing different things.
Yeah.
And I just,
If it helps them, if they enjoy it, if it's, like, something that's good for them and their partner, or for them alone, or, you know...
Well, that's, I think, is kind of, like, what the de-armoring is... Maybe kind of like...
Yeah.
But, like, it doesn't work for everyone, obviously. But, like, just being mindful of, you know, like... So, obviously, like, section pleasure and stuff are, like, kind of triggers for me. Yeah. And then using a tool with intent to give presence and mindfulness to, like, around those triggers and try and explore what other sensations you can have other than... the triggering ones, I think, is kind of what the tools are helpful, like, in the de-armoring sense. Like, I don't really, like, I do kind of believe that it's kind of like a massage, like, if you, like, you know, like, put pressure on those tender points that it could release some of the energy, but I do also think that it's a lot of mindfulness, like, work behind that, and just, like, working, like, allowing yourself to be uncomfortable and, like, okay, well, I'm not very comfortable with stuff in my vagina, but I'm going to put something up there and, like, figure out why that is and, like, what's around that and, like, is it... But there's kind of, like, a back and forth in my mind, though, about it, because then I'm like, well, so what if I don't like sex? Like, is that, like, not all humans enjoy things on the same level? Like, that's not just something that I enjoy often. So, like, it's kind of, like, a weird, like... I don't know. Like, am I okay where I'm at, or, like, should I, you know, so you kind of, like, I don't know. I, like, really have to, like, want to do it, I guess, in order to, like, get in that mindful state and be like, I'm going to open myself up to this and explore if I can find more pleasure in this area. And, you know.
Well, I think it speaks a lot to how much you love Trevor, because I feel like a lot of that would be, you know, to help heal and to help become more open and to help, you know, because like you said, I think he's like a lot of guys. Guys are very sexual in their nature, wanting to spread their seed and whatnot. But anyways, I feel like, I feel like it's something that it just shows that you want to do that for him, and so you're going to try to do what you need to do if there is something that you can do to do that. But I also think that it's something that he's also, hopefully, and I've heard that he is, respectful of the fact that, you know, it's not something that you prioritize or need prioritized, so he can find ways to get, you know, you guys can kind of, you're finding a way to compromise with him, I think.
Yeah,
is what it really
well, like,
is.
I definitely would like it to enjoy it more, like, you know, like
you probably
no one likes taking one for the team just to take one for the team, you know, but I think every woman's probably been there where she's just, I'm just gonna, get this out of the way so that he can stop and I can go back to doing other things, and I'm not saying that's what it's like now, but like sometimes I don't know.
When you're in a
it's
relationship
like,
for a long time, it can get that way sometimes on occasion, It's just one of those things that happens.
It's like I would like to, even if I'm just taking one from the team, maybe get a little pleasure out of it too, and not just be like, oh, well, this is just traumatic thing,
Yes.
And
but I agree too that it is something that's almost like, what do they talk about when you have a fear, to confront the fear, and then you can kind of help yourself learn to feel a different way about that same fear by almost
like cognitive thought therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that for PTSD. I think that's kind of like where I've been able to be more open in my mindful state, because I used to always be someone who catastrophized everything or who worst case scenarioed everything, and
I'm totally not like that.
They really teach you to like be mindful of like intently creating other scenarios. Well, you don't want to go to the grocery store because you might get in a car crash and you might get COVID, and they might not have anything that you want at the grocery store. And what if you forget your money, or what if you forget your phone, or what if your kids need you when you're gone, or what if all these things? But like, what if you go to the grocery store and you see a friend you haven't seen in a long time and it makes your day? Or what if you like buy some awesome brownies that they just invented and like you didn't know that they had those fucking brownies because you didn't want to go to the store? Like, what if you go out and you see a bird and it was beautiful and it like, like all these other what ifs that you need to fill your head with to get the other ones lower on your radar.
Yeah.
I think that actually was a really good way to describe it, because yes, I do the same thing and it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, but you want to get to that point where you think other ways. Like,
Yeah. And like, how many of the percentage of the times does the worst case scenario happen?
Yep. And how much time is it usually fine?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you have had a traumatic event recently, so you can. It is probably harder to like get out of that worst case scenarios because the worst case scenario came up already. Yeah. So it's a lot of mindfulness.
Well, I think that's why I want to get back on my health, because I am very aware of the fact that Corey and I did not necessarily always think about our lifestyle and how much of a toll it truly has on our day-to-day life, and how, I mean, granted, he smoked cigarettes and he drank more than I did, and both of those things are very, bad for your health, so, I mean, at least I didn't have both of those things going, but I don't eat the best, and I don't exercise, so it's like I'm trying...
He didn't do those things either, really. And he had a very sedentary life, which, I mean, I...
Drink enough water.
Drink water, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, too. Like, I need to be more mindful and try to just get better at doing those health things for myself, but also so that way can learn them while she's young, so she doesn't have to struggle so much like I am now to make them a habit. They'll just automatically be a habit for her, hopefully, and she won't have to think about it, Because if I can hopefully give her, more of an understanding of how important those things are, then, obviously she'll take them more seriously, because I feel like that was something that we didn't always do, was we were just always very, we're young, and we're healthy, and we're fine, and everything's going to be fine, and da-da-da, and, it's, now I think about, all sorts of things, but, anyways, I try... That's the other thing, though, is that when I start to get in, like you're saying, when I get into those worst-case scenario mindsets, I try to just think about, what I have going for me still that I didn't, because I took a lot of the things that Corey did for granted, and I didn't always,
I think you give yourself way too much guilt over that, because you also, put up with a lot of
Well, I mean, you do.
I'm going to take that out of that.
You do when you're in a relationship, though. It's something that you put up with some of the things, and they put up with all your things, and anyways, it's just...
I just don't feel like you need to... I mean, I know you probably can't help it, but I don't think you should guilt yourself over it, because...
Well, the thing that sucks...
It's not like he was innocent either, in everything either,
That is super true, yes. I mean, I'm not trying to give him a pass on any of that, but at the same time, after a person's gone, you just think back about the things that, you you should have, I don't know. Anyways, sorry, not gonna go there, but, yeah. And that's the thing, I feel like I need to get better about is, when I'm, what's the word? Just when I'm thinking about that type of stuff, I needed to stop and, refocus.
Yeah.
Refocus my energies.
Sorry, with refocusing energies, which is something we've been sort of talking about, I know, Sam, that was kind of a big deal with you and Trevor. So, is this like something, I can't remember if you've said this or not yet, but was this something, experiencing it with Trevor, was this like something that you kind of did new prior to this episode, or was it like something that you guys have like been practicing, if you don't mind?
No, we just did it the one time, and well, it wasn't like, I did buy this wand for like, because we were going to do the episode and I got something new to do it, but like that wasn't just why we used it. You know, I did want to work on like, you know, like working through traumas that come up, and just having a tool that we could use that like I don't have to go through those traumas of like him mounting me and then like like I don't know, it to people that have never experienced a sexual assault, like it may sound silly that like like he's my husband and like he's my partner, but like it's still like when the same like shifts of movement happen that I felt when the other
they're
person
just like
was
inherent
shifting
in
his
the act
movement
in a way.
Yeah. And when I like look up and just the angle of the person on top of me, like
those are all
very much brings me back to the trauma. And so like being able to have an intimate moment with him where like those things weren't up in my head because they weren't being triggered, it was something that we needed because like we haven't had much intimacy since Levi's been born. So it was a nice intimate moment, and like we had the kids. Dylan was away for the weekend, and Levi was asleep in bed early, so we had sex on the kids' nuggets, their play couches. We're those parents now, but he definitely like made it about me that night, which like some nights it's not. Like he got out the oil and gave me a full body massage, and then gave me like a nice yoni massage before we got the wand out, and so it was a nice time.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like sometimes after you have it for a while, sometimes those moments are that much more special and big. You know what I mean? Because they're cherished more. It's something that you're present for. You're mindful. You're more,
Yeah, and I wish we were, like, more mindful and, like, present about it every time, I guess. Like, like, slow down, like, be cautious of my triggers and, like, you know, like... But sometimes it's, I don't know, like when you're up in the moment, it's like you just want to do what you want to get done and you want to, you know, so.
I mean, there's times and places where that's okay too, but like you said, sometimes like when you're easing your way back into something like that you have had trauma from, it's something that'd be easier to do if it's slower and steadier like it was,
Well, I'm perpetually single, so I didn't use mine with a partner, obviously. But
that's alright.
I mean, putting it in
single doesn't mean no partners.
Well, that's true. That is very, very true. But I did not have a partner, so so me in the very literal sense. But putting it in wasn't so bad. I was a little bit worried about that. Because, I mean, I figured I'd have to, like, stimulate myself a little bit to, like, get it in, and so I did, and that was fine.
Did you use any, like, oil or lube, or... I usually put coconut oil on my egg before I shove mine up.
So I don't have any of that. Because I don't really have much use for it most of the time.
She's like, I don't keep coconut oil, you kitchen witch.
I think she meant the lube, now that I'm thinking about it.
Any sort of lube next to my bed sort of a deal. Like, I don't have that. I just don't really usually have need for it, so it's just, you know.
She's like, it's just not a priority of my nightstand.
But it, like, once you put it in, it was, like, weird, because, like you said, you can kind of feel it when it's, like, right in the inside, kind of, but, like, once it moves up, it's, like, a little less apparent, although it did feel, especially in going in, it was, like, a little heavier than I was expecting to feel, which is, I guess, shouldn't be surprising, because it would, like, the egg itself was a little more heavy than I anticipated it would be, I guess, just when it arrived, I guess. But it is like, it is kind of dense and heavy. I decided to, like, meditate while I was doing it, because I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to be fucking doing when I did this. Other than, like, trying to kegel a little and just, you know, tighten the muscles a little, you know.
Can I feel it in there? Can I feel it?
Kind of, sort of, not really sometimes. And then, like, And then, so I didn't want to do it like too long, so I've actually done it twice now, and like both experiences have been sort of similar. But I ended up in the, because I told you I got the drilled, and so like I just used like a little bit of, like a couple things of thread. I just used thread basically. But I used like a couple of rounds of it, but not much, and it was really thin. So anyways, the first time I went to go take it out, I kind of couldn't feel the string, and I kind of lost it for a minute, and so like, of course my brain just goes like, oh god, worst case scenario is happening, code red.
Get the flashlight.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to call mom or say I'm supposed to come over here. Like, dig in me, oh my god. You know? But, like, I mean, I just, like, after the initial panic, I was like, okay, it's gotta be down there. You tied it really well. It has to be there. So I felt around a little bit, and it was just, like, really thin. I should have, like, either chose, like, a thicker, like, a cord or something like that, or, like, something that was a little bit more apparent to my fingers, I guess. I don't know. See,
like
no, mine is like way thinner than that. But yes, something more like that probably would have been a little bit easier to find. Yes, precisely. But everything was fine. I just sort of, I found it. I slowly took it out. You know what I mean? So it was like fine. And then the second time it was fine too. So I don't know. I guess my low light. Sorry, go ahead. I don't know where
I was just gonna say, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but like. So, sometimes when I would insert my eggs, I would have to, like, shove it up there, like, a little bit with my finger. Or other times I'll just, like, put it on the opening and it would kind of, like, grab it up itself. Yeah. So, like, did you notice if you had to, like, shove it up or, like, if it just kind of went in?
I think both times I kind of more pushed it up.
Pushed it up?
Yeah.
Did it just gobble?
No. Maybe with more Kegel practice with it in, maybe it will.
It'll just like grab onto it and like, hello.
Suck it right up in there. Like
it'd make that noise too.
Yeah.
Like my vagina is a UFO and I'm abducting it up in there.
This crystal. Come here. So I was looking through my pamphlet that came with my wand, and it has exercises that you can do with your eggs.
Ooh.
Number 1 is called the puss-up. So you lie down on your back with your feet underneath your knees, and you inhale and raise your hips up and squeeze your pelvic muscles. And then you lower them. So you puss-ups, I get it. Number 2 is a camel ride, kneeling on the floor with your knees wide and your hands on your thighs. You inhale, tilt forward, and open your heart. Yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. And the sexy cat cow, which is like self-explanatory. You come to,
That's so funny.
You get on all fours, and you meow, and you cow.
So that's so funny that this came up because...
Did you try this with your egg in there? Did you do some exercises?
No, we were swinging with Nugget the other day, and Mom and I, we were like doing animal noises, and she was like, she would just do one at a time for the most part. She would be like, oh, cow, a cat, a dog, horse, monkey, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, can you do a cat, cow? And then so I went, meow.
So that's what you do with your Yoni egg. Pop an egg in your pussy and go meow.
I never thought that was going to be relevant again.
Girl, you know I'm making that into a t-shirt. I'm a cat cow.
It's going to be a bitch with an egg inside her.
Oh, the Yoni Experience.
Oh my god.
Just shoving it in there.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is great. But yeah.
Well, that happened.
So when y'all are at home trying your Yoni Egg experience, make sure you think of this
and go meow.
You know that's what I'm gonna think of as soon as I put my Like, oh God.
Well, at least that means you're going to use it.
You
it
can
sounds
just
you're
text
gonna...
either of us saying meow, and we'll know that you used it.
You finally did it.
Yeah,
It's
you
our
took
code
the
word
plunge.
for
The code.
my Yoni egg.
I'm gonna tell Trevor that's our code word now.
He's going to be checking every time she texts. Just say it.
Question mark. Like, yeah, you down? You done to me or me tonight?
It's kind of like doggy style, but it's, meow.
Crank it up. It's like one of those toys that you crank up and it
Like
makes the noise. Or like...
Squirt. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So to conclude our episode, no, just kidding.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's my jam, but I'll probably give it a couple more tries before I completely give it up.
Like I said, I was intimidated, but I am going to
Maybe
try
I'll stick
it, and I think if I like the Kegel experience, it'll be something that I was telling them before the episode started, I want to start to do like exercises in general. So I want to almost add that to my exercise regimen and be like, okay, do your Kegels for the day, do your sit-ups and your push-ups and your squats and your your Kegels while you're doing your squats. Let's just see how you can do this.
And a lot of people recommend only using it for 30 minutes at a time. So you can put it in and
do my workout.
Do it while you're making lunch and then pop it.
I like it.
Make it work.
Shit, if I can go and feel every single one of them, I think I want to try it.
The elevator goes up and the elevator goes down.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think meow. It's about time. It's been an excellent episode. You're welcome for all the puns. It's amazing. And
I like cheesy puns.
I don't know. Does anyone have any final thoughts before we say goodbye to our Coven?
We could link our places where we bought ours at the bottom or something, and I can do a shout out to
maybe I can do another
shop.
extras blog, or maybe we can put it on our Patreon, maybe the links to places as well.
Well, I mean, we can just share it on our... Yeah.
That's it. She says just share pictures of them
We'll share all the links in our regular update, and but you guys should join us in our book club, which is starting or might have started. I don't know. We're a hot mess. It's gonna be soon or never. I don't know.
It's already started. I have a post.
Have we joined?
Is there a date for it
yet?
Huh?
Is there a date for when we're supposed to start reading? What did you?
Oh no! I mean, I've just been starting reading, and so I've shared like a quote that I liked and some stuff.
Well, what I'm thinking is maybe we can get a tally of who's joining. If there's people, still out there that haven't joined yet, then we can all get started together.
Yeah, that's what I imagine is us starting with the group.
And we have put up a new Patreon tier, yes, with just some book club and the weekend reads text. So
yeah, join us there to learn more about it.
See you there, hopefully. Otherwise, we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yep. See you in 2 weeks, guys. Blessed be witches.
Blessed be. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Midwest Coven Cast.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode.
In the meantime, you can check out Midwest Coven Cast Presents Weekend Reads.
Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Join and support us on Patreon. You can also find us at
MidwestCovenCast.com.
You can also join our coven by following us on social media.
At Midwest Coven Cast on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and at Midwest Coven on Twitter.
Until next time, Coven.
Blessed be.